Hi, my name is Gemma from Gem Yoga, and I'm going to take us through a simple asana pregnancy class. Please listen to your body. We're all so different every day, so really listening to your body's needs and what your body's asking for, and just doing what feels good, and if it doesn't feel good, just leave it out or do something different. I'm going to take us through a practice that has been good for me through my pregnancy, but every woman is so different each day, each trimester. So be open to see if this is right for you, but if it isn't, no worries, and just leave this practice. For me, for this practice, I'm not going to be doing anything where my head leans forward. That makes me feel quite sick, and not too much flowing, because that also brings on nausea. So it's going to be quite simple, quite static. We're still going to really focus on core, hip stability to help us prepare for what's coming, and recovery, I believe, as well. They're helping, looking after our core and hip stability, I really think is going to help us through the next part of our journey. So we're going to start simple seated. I'm sitting on a meditation cushion behind me here. You could be sitting on a bolster, some pillows, some blocks, but just make sure it's comfortable. If you've only got bricks and blocks, you could put a blanket over so that your sitting bones feel really comfortable. I'm sitting like this with my legs crossed because it's comfortable for me. You can do whatever you want with your legs, that feels comfortable. And just bring awareness to your pelvis, your pelvic bowl, and see if you can bring it to a neutral position, or just a even position where your sitting bones feel evenly sitting on the support that you're sitting on. Then bring awareness, traveling awareness from the base of the pelvis all the way to the top of the head, finding space. If you're like me, where everything's been a bit squashed up, just finding that lovely space through the spine, through the ribs. Softening the shoulders, maybe having a little move around of the neck, cheeks, jaw. Maybe opening the jaw, sticking the tongue out. Releasing any tension there. And once you feel able to settle, maybe closing your eyes or just having a soft gaze in front of you. And just taking a few breaths, just a few natural breaths. If you'd like to, as you start to connect inward, you can put your hands on your bump, your beautiful bump. And just the intention of calming the nervous system. If closing your eyes makes you feel sick, just keep your eyes open. But I would suggest a soft gaze down in front of you, still creating that inward connection rather than being distracted from the outside. Just a few natural breaths here, calming breaths. I'm breathing in and out through my nose if that's comfortable for you. Otherwise, just use your mouth, just whatever's most calming, most comforting. Feeling that even weight on each sitting bone. Feel the shoulders softening, the neck softening, the jaw softening. Maybe imagining the mind and the thinking softening. And whatever's going on in life or the busy mind at the moment with everything that's coming ahead, just taking this sacred time for yourself to just tune inward, creating a safe, relaxing space for your beautiful baby or babies inside. And maybe a few more deeper breaths or some sighs. Or if you need some yawns. And then we're just going to warm up the spine, the shoulders and the neck. So if you just want to place your hands on your knees or your thighs, I'm just going to do some shoulder rolls one way. Massaging into those joints. And then the other way. And I think for most women, the breasts get bigger through pregnancy, so there can be a lot of tension in the shoulders. We're carrying this extra weight in our chest, so just getting some nice movement in the shoulders. And then we're going to do some lateral stretches or side stretches. So if you just want to place one hand beside you and the other arm up and over. If that's not comfortable for any reason, then just put your hand on your hip and still focus on the lengthening. Try not to, the side that you're moving towards, try not to squash that side up. Still try and lengthen that side. And the side you're moving away from, really try and root down that sitting bone. So your sitting bones are still evenly weighted on the support or the floor. And you can reach this arm over. So it's almost like this opposite hip is pulling down and this hand going the other way is stretching away from it. At the same time, shoulders away from the ears. Make sure your head and neck is nice and soft and at ease. If it helps, you can look down or look forward. And I've been getting a lot of discomfort in my ribs, so we're just opening up the ribs. Try and have that, if your arm's up, try and have it very active and lengthening rather than bent and lazy. So my fingers, my hand is really stretched open. I'm really finding the energy all the way through the side of the body, the arm and the hand. And then we'll go to the other side, taking a breath to come to center. And a breath out to the other side, taking it slow, take your time. Again, rooting that opposite hip down to the earth as you reach your hand away. If that's not good on the shoulder for any reason, put your hand on the hip and just be careful of your neck. If that's too much strain, you could look down or tuck your chin in. Shoulders away from the ears, enjoying that stretch, that spaciousness in the ribs. A few breaths there. Inhale back to center. We're just going to have a little bit of movement in the neck. Inhale here. Exhale, tuck your chin down. We're going to do some circles with the neck, just doing what is comfortable for you. So inhale right and back. It can be small or big circles. Make sure there's no pain or discomfort. Exhale, left and forward. We'll do 2 more. Inhale right and back. Exhale, left and forward. Inhale, right and back. Exhale, left and forward. Other way. Inhale, left and back. Exhale, right and forward. Make sure your shoulder blades are soft and relaxed down the back. Inhale, left and back. Exhale, right and forward. Last one. Inhale, left and back. Exhale, right and forward. Inhale, back to center. So now we're going to come into a squat. Everyone's body's different. Everyone's hips are different. So just doing what's right for you. I'm going to give some options. First thing is that you could just pop your sitting bones on a couple of bricks. I've got a couple of bricks there. Get into your squat how you want to. So what we can do is we can make a little shelf there to sit on. Oh. And then we've got a little squat shape there in Malasana. And because when we're pregnant, we have a lot of the relaxin hormones, so our ligaments are getting nice and open and ready for birth. So we don't want to overstretch the body during pregnancy, but we do want to stay strong and supple. So I'm staying supported so I don't hyperextend, I don't go beyond my flexibility, but at the same time I can make this quite active. So I'm going to push my knees into my elbows. At the same time, I'm pushing my elbows into my knees. So there's some nice traction, which is nice and massaging on the lower back and the sacrum. And I'm just lifting up through my pelvic floor a little. When it comes to our yoga practice, we use bandhas. You may or may not have heard of bandhas. Bandhas are energy locks. And in our strong asana practice, we usually practice Mula Bandha, which is lifting up through the pelvic floor, and Uddiyana Bandha, which is the lower transverse abdominis, or lower deep abs here. I think they're the ones that contract when we have contractions, and that gets scooped up. And when we're pregnant, we want to keep them relaxed. We don't actually want to tighten or engage them too much like we would on a strong yoga practice, but also I think it's nice to have awareness of them. So we're told to do pelvic floor exercises through our pregnancy. So just a lightness of lifting rather than a tension Think of a very light lifting through the pelvic floor, and use the traction of pushing the knees into the elbows and the elbows into the knees. And you can either hold it and breathe, or if that's too much, just kind of do it for a breath and then relax, and do it for another breath and then relax. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. You could also be higher up. You can also do this sitting on a low chair or a low stool. And now we're going to go up to standing from our squat, and we're going to go up and down 3 times. So taking your feet in a comfortable position. With a squat pose, we really want the knees to track over the toes. So you don't want your knees collapsing inwards. Again, we're activating the strength, our core, our leg strength, and our hip stability. So take your hands wherever you want to. Inhale. Exhale, come to standing. If you need to, you can have a chair in front of you to help you come up. If you want to, put your arms in the air just for an extra stretch. Exhale, coming down. I'm going to try and land on my bricks. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, lifting up. Stretch, lift through the pelvic floor gently. Exhale, down. Last one, keeping those knees over the toes. Maybe engaging the glutes a little more, the bum muscles a little more as you come up. And exhale, coming down. Well done. Okay, we're going to come onto hands and knees now, facing the front of your mat. And like I said, I need to keep my torso upright, otherwise I get a bit of acid reflux. So when I'm on my hands and knees, I just put my hands on my bricks to just have my chest a little bit higher than my hips. So we're just going to do a few cat-cow here, just to really warm up the spine and hopefully enjoy a nice spinal stretch. So inhale, arch your back, look forward or look up. Move the spine as much as you can in this direction, and then exhale, tuck the chin in, tuck the tailbone in, and arch the back to the sky. Only doing what's comfortable. It might be a minimal movement. Inhale, opening. Exhale, close. Try and do it so it feels good. It feels good in your spine. Just one more. Inhale, opening the chest. Shoulders down. Exhale, just tucking the tailbone in, maybe lifting through the pelvic floor slightly. And then exhale, relax. Lovely. We're going to step to the front of the mat. So to help me, I'm going to put my bricks on a higher level so I can push into them. And I'm going to take my right foot forward into a lunge, into a low lunge. And then I'm going to put my hands on my hips. So we're in this lovely supportive low lunge position. Tuck your tailbone down, lift through your pelvic floor slightly, shoulders soft. Nice and strong core. I'm going to go up to a high lunge, but if you want to stay here, you can. So I'm going to tuck my left toes under, push through my right foot, lift through my pelvic floor, and try and keep your torso lifted as you lift your left knee up and come into a high lunge. Keep the right knee bent over the ankle and maybe bend the back knee to help the pelvis be nice and neutral. Breathe here for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From here, we're going to come into warrior 1. So we're going to keep the right foot where it is. We're going to keep the hips square, and the back foot we're going to put at about 45 degrees, but keeping the hips square and the right knee over the ankle. So it's likely, especially with our lovely bump, that the left foot will be more to the left and more forward, and maybe more than usual if you're used to doing a warrior 1 position. Still hugging that left hip forward, right hip back, right knee over the ankle. Really engage this left leg, try not to make it lazy. Really engage it, root down that back foot. Gently lift through the pelvic floor. Looking forward, you can keep your hands here or raise them up. They can be shoulder width or palms together. 5 breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Lovely, well done. Place your hands on your hips. I'm going to step the left foot forward. You can shuffle it a few times or just take one step forward. And we're going to hold a chair pose for 5 breaths. What you can do here to help the hips, some space in the hips and lower back, is take a brick between the thighs so that when you squeeze your brick, your knees and your ankles are in line with your hips. Coming into chair pose, so you can put your hands on your hips or take your arms by your ears. And it's like you're sitting on a chair that's just behind you, and you want to squat as low as you can, whatever's comfortable. Keep your hands on your hips or take your arms by your ears for 5. 4, gently lifting through the pelvic floor. 3, 2, 1. Well done. We're going to come back to hands and knees. You can place your hands on your bricks. I'm bending my knees and then just coming back down to the floor. You can keep your hands on your bricks if you want to, or hands on the floor if you're okay with that, or take them lower down. Just take some movement that feels good. You can do circles with the hips. You can do cat-cow, moving the spine. Whatever feels good, use your breath. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So I'm going to raise my hips, going to raise my blocks up so that I can step my left foot forward this time into low lunge. Left knee is over the ankle, feet are hip width apart. I'm going to come up to my low lunge, hands on hips, left knee over the ankle, gently lifting through the pelvic floor, keeping your chest lifted so your shoulders are stacked on top of your hips rather than crunching forward. You can stay here or tuck the right toes under, and we're going to come to high lunge. Breathe in, breathe out. Nice strong high lunge. You might want to bend your back knee a bit. Left knee over the ankle. Bending the back knee is just helping your pelvis have more space and more alignment. 1, 5 breaths here. 2, you can lower your back knee at any time. 3, 4, 5. We're going to come into warrior 1. So we're going to keep the left knee where it is, the hips where they are. We're going to move the back foot into a 45-degree position. But the back foot might be more to the right and more forward to allow the hips to be square to the front of your mat and the left knee to be over the ankle. Lift through the pelvic floor just gently and really engage and straighten that back leg. 5. Shoulders soft. 4. You can also raise your arms, hands shoulder width all together. 3. 2. 1. Placing hands on hips. We're going to step forward and we're going to do our chair pose one last time for 5 breaths. You can step or shuffle that back foot forward. And I'm going to take the block again between my thighs to help with the hip stability. Hands on hips or arms by your ears. Sitting into Utkatasana, chair pose. For 1, gently lifting through pelvic floor. Just taking this gently. 2, no straining. 3, if you want to hold it for less time, you can. 4, strengthening our legs, our core and our hip stability. And 5. Push through the legs to come to standing, maybe stretching your arms into the air. Well done. Well done. And bring the arms down. We're going to do 1 balance pose. Balance is great to practice when we're pregnant, again to help with hip stability and leg strength and core strength. But you're so welcome to use the wall. So I'll use the wall to place my hand there, and then I'll try and take the hand away, but it's there if I need the balance. We're going to do a simple tree pose. So I'm going to ground through the right leg. Your left foot can start here with the toes on the floor, or you can bring it into the leg below the knee, not on the knee, but you can, because we don't want to push the knee out, or you can bring it inside the thigh or half lotus. If you're doing half lotus, make sure you don't arch and stick the bum out. Instead, stand up straight, maybe tucking the tailbone down a little, creating a lot of space for the abdomen, and maybe hugging that knee down. But whatever's most comfortable for you. I think I'm going to go for this variation. So for this variation, I'm going to really push the foot into the thigh and the thigh into the foot. I'm going to keep my hand on the wall. You can also put your hands in prayer and push your hands together for a little more stability. For 1, 2, shoulders soft. 3, gently lift through pelvic floor. 4, 5, well done. And it's okay if you're wobbling. I'm wobbling quite a lot. Have a little shake maybe of the legs. And it's okay to hold the wall the whole time. Grounding now for the left leg. Taking your variation, below the knee, above the knee, or half lotus. Just with the half lotus, make sure your hips are really stable, in alignment, facing forward, tailbone down, lifting through pelvic floor. I'm going to do this one to work my legs more. So I'm pushing that right foot into the left thigh, and I'm pushing the left thigh into the right foot. Spread your left toes, ground through that left foot, lift through the left leg, gently lift through the pelvic floor, maybe a hand on the wall. For 1, 2, push your hands together, shoulders down for a little stability. 3, and gently lift through pelvic floor. 4, 1 more breath. 5, well done, and release. We're going to come to the floor now. So we're going to come back to our squat. So maybe taking your feet a little wider. Inhale. Exhale, come down. And I'll show you another variation of using support with the bricks, is you can put a brick under your heels if you like. But for me, which feels most comfortable now, is stacking the bricks and placing my sitting bones on the bricks. So coming back to our hopefully comfortable squat position, we're going to add in a little twist here. So I'm going to twist to the right first. I'm going to put my left hand on the floor and I'm going to put my right hand on my thigh. As I twist to the right, what we're going to really focus on is keeping our hips square and our hip stability strong. So think about your sitting bones sitting on the bricks maybe, and think about the weight on your feet and try and keep them even and balanced on both sides. So what we don't want is this. Can you see how I'm also twisting my hips? I'm going to keep the weight even in both sitting bones. I'm going to keep my knees exactly where they are, and I'm going to twist from the lower back upwards, only what's comfortable. I can't twist very far. Opening the chest. If the hand doesn't reach the floor here, which mine doesn't really, I'm going to instead put the back of my hand kind of like that. I'm pushing my arm into my inner thigh, inner calf. My right hand's just resting on this right thigh. I'm lifting up and twisting, but I'm not letting the knees and hips move. So I'm increasing my hip stability and having a nice twist, and then the other side. So I'm not doing it for that long. I can't do it for that long. Hand on the thigh, this hand just pushing that hip out the way, keeping nice and strong. So my thighs are active, my feet are pushing down, my pelvic floor is lifting gently. So there's all the stability in my hips, and I'm just twisting a little bit. I'm not really pushing much on my left hand. My right arm, I am pushing a little bit to help me. As you can see, I don't have much spinal twist movement at the moment. Keeping the chest open. 1 more breath. Lovely, and coming back to center. Great. So we're going to do a little back bend, camel pose, and then a seated forward fold, and then we're going to finish with a restorative pose. So we've only got 2 more asanas left, and then a restorative asana. So we're going to do camel pose. This is the only back bend that's been okay for me. All other back bends are out. To do camel, I always suggest rolling up your mat for the pressure of your knees. So I'm just going to roll my mat up like this, and then it's kind of free fold where my knees are. Your knees are going to be hip width. If you have 3 bricks, you could put a brick between your thighs. I only have 2 with me now. And then I'm going to make sure my knees are hip width, and I'm going to put the bricks either side of my ankles here. And you may or may not use the bricks. You might just keep your hands on your lower back, that's fine. Do not overdo this, everyone's body is different. We're going to do 2 rounds, and on the first round, we're all going to keep our hands on the lower back. On the third round, I'll give the option to the brick. If that's not available to you, then just keep your hands on the lower back. We're going to do this safely, with control and hip stability. So take your hands on your lower back to protect your back. Soften the shoulders. Maybe tucking the tailbone down slightly and lift through your pelvic floor gently. So instead of arching and collapsing in the back, lifting through the pelvic floor, tailbone down, pushing your hips forward. Then inhale, lift your chest to the sky, and exhale, lean your chest back like you're leaning over a big wheel, but keep your hips exactly where they are, no dumping in the lower back. With all your back bends, you're thinking about lengthening your lower back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open the chest. 3 more breaths like this, keeping the hips over the knees. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, opening the chest. 2 more breaths. Push your hands into your lower back, come back up. You might want to come to a child's pose, hands and knees, or just a bit of a wiggle. I'm going to offer 1 more round. If you'd rather leave it, you can, or come to a child's pose or cat-cow, you can do that instead. This time I'm going to give the option to the bricks, completely up to you. Hands on lower back, inhale, lengthen. Exhale here, tailbone down, lift through the pelvic floor. If it's available, very easily available, I'm just going to put my fingertips on the bricks and keep breathing. Inhale, lift the chest and pushing through the bricks. Exhale, lifting the chest. Keep the hips forward. 2 more breaths. Make sure the neck is fully supported. Don't drop the head back. And then 1 hand at a time, put the hand into the lower back, push into the lower back, and come up. I'm going to release the mat out. 1 last time, coming into our tabletop position with cat-cow option. Just checking my microphone. So you can do some cat-cow or just movement, free movement, whatever feels good. Cat-cow, inhale, opening the chest. Exhale very gently, not squashing anything, just more moving through the shoulders, the spine. With the inhale and exhale here, with the flexion and extension of the spine, think about space in both motions. How can I create more space? How can I create more space? I'm not squashing the abs or the baby. I'm creating more space. I'm just having a nice massage movement through the spine. Then we're going to come to sit onto the mat with our legs wide-ish. We're going to do Upavishta Konasana at a distance that's comfortable for you. So it could be feet closer together. This is kind of the only forward fold that really feels comfortable for me, if my legs apart. If this creates any pressure in the knees, or you know you're already hypermobile in the knees, I would suggest putting blankets, rolled up blankets or a piece of clothing under both knees, so you're not hyperextending into them. But we're only taking a very gentle forward fold. So inhale, lengthening, create all that space through the ribs, through the side of the body, and exhale, fold. I can't fold very far at all. Some options, you could rest your head on a bolster, like that. Or have some bricks stacked up. I tend to do like that. It depends what feels comfortable. When you're forward folding, still create space in your abdomen. So I'm not squashing the abdomen. I can tilt my pelvis a little bit more forward to get a bit more space there. And the tummy, my bump goes more into the space between my thighs. So there's no squashing. And I might just stay upright. Today, I'm not sure I really want to put my head forward. So yeah, I'm about here today. So sometimes I have my head here. That was probably a week ago. I think my body's already changed. That's a bit much right now. So I'm just going to stay upright. And instead of focusing on any forward fold in the spine in my lower body, my lower spine, I'm thinking more about the tilt in my pelvis but an active tilt. So I'm lifting through the legs a little. My legs muscles are switched on. If it helps, you can flex your feet so your toes are facing you, so your legs are nice and active. Lifting through the pelvic floor just gently but actively, and then moving, tilting the pelvis forward. So if you think of the weight of your sitting bones on the floor, put the weight forward into the front of the sitting bones. It's like you're tipping the pelvis forward. If you imagine your pelvic bowl filled with water, you're anterior tilting it. You're allowing the water to fall out of the front of the pelvis. So I'm thinking more about a fold there rather than through the spine. And I'll show you what it looks like on the side. So I'm not curving my lower back. My legs are wide, so the bump is between my legs. I'm just tilting my pelvis forward, so there's no squashing in my abdomen. There's lots of space. But you just do what's comfortable for you. You might want to do butterfly legs, Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. If you're doing that, have support underneath your knees and only go. So I'm not rounding, I'm not squashing, I'm opening, I'm creating space. But it feels nice to move into the places that are maybe getting a little stagnant or not getting so much movement. I can't do as much exercise as I could when I wasn't pregnant, so I'm not moving as much as I usually do. So just getting to those places and creating some, like, I think of it as massaging the fascia, maybe creating some movement. It just feels good to me, feels good to my body, remembering those movements, but just not putting any pressure anywhere and keeping everything spacious and open. So we're coming to our final pose. We're going to do Supta Baddha Konasana, or laying bound angle, or laying butterfly. So I'm going to take a bolster to raise my torso. I've got a couple of bricks. You can do this with makeshift props at home. You can have pillows, and you can have a sofa pillow that would be at an incline. So I'm going to place one brick there and one brick there. So a bit like a bolster bridge there. If it will stay, yeah. Then I'm going to have a blanket ready to put over me. I'm also going to have an eye pillow to put over my eyes. That's optional, you don't have to. And then I would really recommend, so we're going to rest in Baddha Konasana with the legs like a butterfly legs, soles of the feet together. If that's not comfortable, then just have straight legs and maybe put a bolster, pillow or blanket under the knees to take any pressure off the lower back. You can also, in butterfly, which I highly recommend, I just don't have enough support to show you around me, putting something under both knees so that your legs are, so your hips are not stretching or overstretching, but everything's really supported and held. The variation I'm going to use is where you put your strap into a big loop. So my strap's already in a big loop. Make sure the buckle is in front of you. You don't want the metal buckle digging into your skin. And then I'm going to place the strap on my lower back, so it feels quite nice and supportive on my sacrum. Going to put the buckle onto the side so it doesn't touch my skin or my feet. And I'm going to hook the bottom bit around my feet. Hope you can see that. Just see that on the camera. So I'm hooking them around my feet. So when I lay back, I'm kind of strapped in, lower back, it's kind of going over my inner thighs and around my feet. And the buckle is just here, inside my thigh there. And if it's too big or too small, you can control it there. So I'm going to lay back here. I'm going to be here for about 5 minutes. If you're enjoying this pose, and like I said, please put more support under the knees if you need it. I really recommend that, especially with our pregnant bodies. We don't want to hyper mobile move the hips. We want to keep everything strong. So I'm going to be here for 5 minutes, but if you're enjoying it, you could be here longer. With lots of support, you can put as much support around you as you need. Thank you very much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed the practice. You can also place something under your arms. So if you have more cushions, you can put something under your arms so it's not too much of a chest opener, but you also might enjoy the chest opener. Whatever feels good to you. You can also have more support under your head, another pillow under your head. This is quite a nice restorative pose if you are having acid reflux and having a problem laying down with the food coming back up, because we're at a lovely incline, completely rested. Lots of spaciousness in the chest and the abdomen. Coming back to your natural breath. Sorry, you probably can't hear me because the microphone covering up. Coming back to your natural breath. You can have support under the arms if you want to. You're so you are so welcome to stay here longer. I'm going to bring us back around. But if your body is asking for more stillness and rest, then just stay here a little longer. You can pause the video. Maybe deepening the breath or taking some big sighs or yawns. Find movement in your fingers and toes, and maybe start to stretch the arms and find some movement through the upper body. If you've got an eye pillow, just gently removing, keeping your eyes closed. You might want to rub your hands together and then place them over the eyes. Just take a moment there. Then gently open your eyes into your palms and very slowly open the fingers, coming back to the space that you're in. Maybe have a stretch. Maybe taking a moment with hands on your bump, your beautiful bump. Thank yourself for your practice, for giving yourself this gift of time, space, and sacred space, of connecting in and listening. Going to very gently come up in the way that's good for you. Maybe you want to roll over to the side. I'm going to push my hands into the floor. If you're coming up, just coming up to sit up here, I would recommend tuck the chin in and then push up. If you're strapped in, just take that strap away from the feet. Maybe crossing your legs just to bring the knees closer together if they've been opened apart there. I'm going to put my back against the wall for some support. Invitation to bring your hands to prayer. Take a few breaths here. Honouring your sacred body, this amazing, incredible female body carrying life. Absolute warrior woman. Knowing you're doing your best right now. And whatever your body is going through physically, any discomfort or sickness, knowing that Mother Nature's doing her work, creating life, and we're doing the best we can. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. Namaste. Thank you.